Hey guys, it's me, Kate again. So in this video we'll be talking about my favorite book series of all time. Actually, I'm surprised that I never actually filmed this video before, because when I was going through the list of my former videos, I decided to make updated versions of some of them. I was surprised that I didn't find this one, and I was like, didn't I film it? But apparently not, so at least not as a separate video. So here you'll be sitting for actually a really short while, but I'll just go through all of my favorite series. My first favorite series ever was Nelly Paulina Pub by Sanya Pollack. This series is not officially a series, but a series of contemporary novels following middle grade novels following Paulina Pub, basically following her through her school life from, I think, 3rd grade to all the way to her going into high school. So we have a really fun trip. This is by Sanya Pollack. Then we have A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. In this one we're following a girl named Farah who one day, while hunting for food for her family, accidentally kills a fey wolf, which actually leads his boss to come and take her to his court, and stuff goes from there. Then we have another Sarah J. Maas series, but this one is Throne of Glass. In this one we're following an assassin, Selena Sardotian, who prior to the events of the series was really feared and actually was managed to be caught and is serving in slave mines. And the series begins with Captain of King's Guard taking her to the Crown Prince, who actually offers her a position to be his champion in this competition to become King's assassin. Then we have actually a series that I haven't gotten up to date with, but I probably will soon. I don't know when, because I'm not sure if where's my phone and if it actually shipped or not. If it did, it will arrive tomorrow. If it didn't, it will arrive until the end of the week. I'm not that worried. But it's Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. In this series, we're following a war between Aleti and the Parshendi, which started when Parshendi killed Aleti king. But now, it's been a couple of hundreds of years later, war is still ongoing and is basically lost all original purpose, and now they're only fighting for these shard blades and shard plates, which are these swords and shields which actually grant their bearers some kind of magical powers. And then we have Alfol. The Farsia trilogy by Robin Hobb, but this is Croatian edition, so that's why it says Obejčin Učenik. So in this series, actually this is not only series by Robin Hobb. On here we also have Tony Mann trilogy and Fitz and the Fool trilogy, all following Fitz. But this first one starts when Fitz is 6 years old and is left on doorstep of the keep by his maternal grandfather, who leaves him to be raised by his father. But his father, who is a crown prince, when he hears that his But her son is coming, abdicates the throne and goes to live in the countryside, which now lives fits in a really awkward position where he's mostly raised by the stable master Burek, until one day when King gets the idea, look, that guy is part royalty but is also part commoner. So like he will be noticed, but the people in the high society won't pay much attention to him because of his mother's side of the family. So he decides to change fits as the king's assassin. And then the main trilogy is taking place around 15 years after the end of this one, and Fitz and the Fool around 10 years after that, so around 25 after this. And then we have, let me just grab it, Spellfinder series by Sebastian de Castell. In this one we are following Kellen, who is just about to take his magic trials. But his magic starts failing, so he decides to cheat. Of course, things don't go as planned, and this is only plot of the first book. Of course, the rest of the books go in completely different direction. Then we have Harry Potter series, which in my notes is written by Harry Potter himself. I know it sounds funny, but I obviously forgot that I have written Harry Potter before, so I just wrote it down again. So in this series we're following Harry Potter, who on his 11th birthday finds out he's a wizard and goes to Hogwarts, the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and of course there he goes into all sorts of trouble. And there's the only quote, I don't remember in which book, where they're talking about how he always lands himself into trouble, and he says, I don't go looking for trouble, trouble finds me. And again, one series that I forgot to grab the book of, but I'm not even sure where I put those books. They're probably at the bottom of that stack lying on top of my bookshelf, but we have Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead, in which we are following Rose, who is a vampire, which is basically half vampire, half human. And in this world, the vampires are tasked with protecting Moroi, which are good vampires from Strogoi, I think. I don't remember the correct term, which are bad vampires. And before the beginning of this series, her and her best friend Lisa ran away from school, and now 2 years later, actually, people from school find them and take them back. That series will always be on my favorites list, mostly because I haven't read it since middle school. I do have second and fourth book, but I don't have books 1, 3, 5 and 6, so that's something to think about. Then we have Girl Online by Joystock, and this one we're following a girl named Penny, who is a blogger, and after particularly unfortunate event in school, her parents offer her to go with them to this wedding they're planning in New York, and she accepts, and there she meets a boy named Noah, and now it's time to follow the romance. And then we have DC Icon series by various authors. This is the first book, Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. Then we have Batman Nightwalker by Maria Lu, Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas, Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt De La Peña, and then the fifth one is Black Canary one, but I don't remember the title or who is it by. In this series we're following reimagined backstories of said DC characters, all written by popular YA authors, at least the first three are. I don't know who Matt De La Peña is. And then we have Kitsune Chronicles by Lisa Casey. In this series we're following Sebastian, who a year ago, basically something happened to him a year ago and now he's on the run. All until now, and he bumps into alpha werewolf Liam, and it's their romance. And also Sebastian is a kitsune, which is basically Japanese nine-tailed fox spirit with elemental magic, if I remember correctly. And then we have Simply Crafty series, also by Lisa Casey, in which we are following an army veteran who, after coming back from the war, is suffering from PTSD, and that leads him into trouble of finding a job. So his twin brother decides, look, I have a friend who is taking people on this haunted tour of haunted places around New Orleans, which started by some hooligans, and he needs a real bodyguard. So you go with him, and he actually gets his job through his brother. Then we have Hidden Gem series, also by Lisa Casey, in which we are following Aki, who has the ability to see the history of the owner of the object he touches, and it actually is useful to the police. So after particular missing person's case, they are actually come to him and to see what kind of happened to the girl that was abducted. And it's almost between Aki and one of the detectives. And the last series is Aurora Rising series by Amy Aurora Cycle series by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. In this one we are following the Space Squad 312, which is basically a group of misfits. So their squad leader, Tyler Jones, was late for his graduation ceremony. So instead of picking the top of the top people from the top of the class, he ends up with the bottom of the barrel, all because he was saving a girl named Aurora. So now the squad consists of him, Aurora, a cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm, a sociopath scientist with fondness for shooting her bunkmates, smartest tech whiz with Galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulders, an alien warrior with anger management issues, and a tumble pilot who's totally not into tie, in case you were wondering. She's not my ass. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email and some other stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.